Welcome out, ladies and gentlemen, to this RGL.GG Week 3 matchup on CP Steel. It should be a great one as we're having Froyotech versus Cat Noises. Froyotech, of course, top team, the consistent top team, the winner, the non-stop winner on a three-peat, looking for their fourth. But Cat Noises, well, they're looking for the upset after two solid games starting out this season. They've increased their power ranking. We have them currently in the second spot, and they are hungry, out for blood, wanting to take on Froyotech on this interesting map of CP Steel. So we'll see if they can do it out here tonight, cause the upset, or will Froyotech hang on for yet another victory. I am sigafoo with Wax to my side and Niso behind the scenes. How you doing out here, Wax?
I'm doing pretty well, Sig. Thanks for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good myself. Excited to see a good game here. Really curious. It's been a while since we've had CP Steel. The last time it was in RGL was in Season 1, so about 3 seasons ago. It played decently then, and Froyotech also did pretty well in it. We actually casted the Froyotech versus Velocity esports match on it, if I recall, and Froyotech's just dominant DM tended to win out over this map, which tends to be a map where you're like, oh, it's about team, it's about coordination and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious to see if Cat Noises has any sort of unique, ideas. But right now we are seeing some unique ideas at the spawn for Cat Noises. We can see Spamfest is running a level 3 engineer, and Carson is currently on the Brass Beast. So definitely some choices going on here early on. Maybe some cheeky plays we'll be seeing coming out here.
Yeah, something interesting about the Cat Noises roster is that actually several of them are accomplished Highlander players, and they have quite a bit of experience on CP Steel, so we'll see if their experience can match up against Froyo's pure deathmatch. And it looks like we actually have them hard holding A here. Generally not a favorable option, but so far they've already gotten Prolander off the first shot, getting a nice headshot onto Percy. Meanwhile, Exile's trying to go ahead and get some spam onto the red engineer, Eric, trying to get those buildings down.
Yeah, they are. This is kind of a situation where Cat Noises also just could go for a straight E push when a team tries to hard hold it. That's generally why you don't do it, is because you can just get pushed onto them so quickly. But Froyotech always wanted to be unconventional. Here comes out the Uber charge. It's going to be much better for Froyo once they eventually pop it. But, Cookie Jake, he's not even contested at all. He's not even going to pop it. Daffodil uses the Uber, and they didn't even get anything with that. But solo Demoman Uber was just not enough for anybody to get anything done. And then Mirrorman on the Soldier class on the upper side didn't get any foreground. And again, this is one of the things that we see out of Froyotech. One of the things that works well for them is that they just don't do anything conventional. Like, they don't play the map like how a Highlander team would play them. And often for stopwatch maps, that seems to work out in their favor. Something I would love to see them do right now is actually, here we go, Spamfest, level 3 Sentry Gun going into the final point right now. I'm not sure if Blaze did spot him, and here we go, times 2 up. XL is putting down some spam right there, and Spamfest's gun is passive to stop any of the back entrances. So we'll see how Froyotech, as they're starting to rotate.
Yeah, Froyotech holding A is definitely not a conventional strategy you see, but it looks like Cat Noises is already adjusting relatively well. They had started a push onto E, but Cookie Jake is actually retaliating with this Uber. Banny chasing down all of the players fairly well, already taking down Carson and Fallen Lord. Meanwhile, Blaze jumping in, helping clean up the rest, takes down Daffodil, actually the medic. Spamfest also going down later in that fight, but the gun still stands. Maybe it could catch a player by surprise. No, it looks like Habib does manage to take it out.
The E-Rush was not the wrong idea. That does open up A back to them. As you can see, Mirrorman, he never went with his team forward, and so he's allowed to capture that. Banny's going to try to commit and goes down. They still have a lot of people. They got to be careful not to be captured in here, because the door, I believe, locked, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong on that. I'm trying to remember my steal. Yeah, it does lock, and so everybody was able to get out. So now Froyotech is going to be rotating over to B. Spamfest has a teleporter way behind enemy lines, and he's currently come up behind with the level 3 Sentry Gun. Mirrorman jumps in, but the Sentry Gun is going down. They're aggressing forward, and the Sentry Gun should start to do work. Banny gets a lot of damage from that, as they're going to back up. Bor's going to go down from the Sentry Gun, and the cheeky plays coming out from Cat Noises is going to help them capture B.
Yeah, this is an excellently executed push from Cat Noises. See, Mirrorman bombing in there was the perfect distraction they needed for them to file all of their players in through the main area and get all that damage, all that spam in, to get all those Froyo players retreated. And now we see Spamfest getting her Sentry Gun set up on E. Definitely a force to be reckoned with, especially this early in the game when the bridges aren't up yet, and there really isn't much that Froyo can do except rely on their spam classes to take care of it. Meanwhile, we already have Percy trying to get that Captain on E. Gets it about a third of the way, but Banny does manage to get forcing her off there. Meanwhile, the Uber does seem to get forced by Daffodil. I'm not quite sure how that happened there, but we do see them opting for a slower push, capturing C instead.
And this actually is not the worst idea here, because what just happened is they forced Froyotech to go deal with E. As they do that, as soon as they get committed, then they go over and take C. So they're kind of doing like they're baiting Froyotech to have to defend them, and then as soon as Froyotech defends them, they keep themselves alive and then they rotate. So currently they're going through a vitamin push, and Blaze, now you can see the long respawn times for the defense. Blaze got put onto a 26-second respawn, so incredibly long time. As he's still down, it looks like they're going to just try to go through the spawn area. Eric does try to catch him out, but again, he's going to get put on 25 seconds as they're going to start to walk over to the D side. And again, they might want to push him capture time on E just to force Froyotech to have to switch it around, but here comes out the overcharge.
Yeah, it seems like Froyotech doesn't seem to be respecting Catnoise's players enough, and they do seem to be dropping like flies one by one. But this Uber trade really does seem to be going in the favor of Froyo. They've already forced out a lot of the players on off of D, but we do see a lot of them actually rotating to E. Unfortunately, they do get a lot of their players taken out there by Yomps and the other players on Froyo. Meanwhile, we have a very strong setup here. On the final E point, that sentry gun, while it is very strong, it is very susceptible to spam as Blaze does take down. Meanwhile, Mirror Man trying to force Habib out of there because you really don't want to have to deal with those stickies when you're trying to get on the point.
Yeah, and Percy doing a nice job picking up a couple there now in a 1v1 against Cookie Jake. Just needs to land the final shot. Finally, the reinforcements are coming in to keep Cookie Jake alive. Percy's got to be kicking herself. Not getting it, but Exile on the backside picks up the frag onto the medic. And so that's going to help them out a little bit more as Eric's behind the enemy line. He's splitting the enemy force. Going to catch Exile out here more than likely. Exile's actually going to be able to reconnect back up with his medic as now the capture time is going down on the E point. Only 2 players left alive. A couple respawns are going to get caught up here. But again, this is the respawn waves get worse and worse the more points you capture. Sabor off of Sniper on his Spy. He's going to try to make a cheeky play. I don't know if anybody actually noticed him. Yes, they did spot him. They know a Spy is out there. ×3 onto the point. 5 seconds left until the rest of the respawns come up. But with Mirror Man as well as Carson sitting above the spawn doors, it's going to be a hard time for them to push out here. Bor's going to get caught out. ×3 up, and this should be it for Cat Noises.
Yeah, this final hold that they established on E point, very strong. Having the heavy up there in that little heaven area is what it's called. Really just raining down punishment all down into the Froyotech spawn, so they really can't file any players in from any angle. And Bor on Spy can be a pretty solid last-ditch effort, but he did get spotted out there, and that could have potentially cost them the round way early. But 5:48, generally a fairly uncommon time. It is rather fast. However, this is Prolander we're talking about here, so the rounds do tend to move quite a bit faster, and we are hopefully geared to some more high-octane offense rounds from Froyo. It really is going to be interesting to see how they choose to attack this.
Yeah, and you can see Cat Noises setting up for the more traditional Highlander style, where you're going to give up A completely and then rotate and just get to a good B hold. That's typically how teams to play it, but again, nothing's typical with this format as teams are still figuring out how they want to play in this. Again, this is still both these teams. I think they're only second time ever playing on this map. Spamfest with an aggressive sentry gun. I really like this positioning out of her. It's a very good spot. It's my favorite spot to use because it forces the enemy team basically to have to use an Uber in order to get an entrance pick. And so Froyotech committing 100% of the people on today. They're going to come down with this, and it's going to be a question of how Froyotech's going to proceed with this, whether or not they're going to go to drop down, rotate back to spawn, or are they just going to go for a straight E push, because those doors are going to open up for that A to E push once they capture this point.
Yeah, something that Froyotech definitely prides himself on is the element of surprise in sevens. You don't really see them going for a conventional sort of pushes, but however, they are going to be filing down through drop down one by one. I definitely thought they were going to go straight for the E push, but it does seem to be that way. We do have some of them getting set up into lobby here. Definitely questionable choice. They do not have the B point captured yet, so the spawn point for Cat Noises is still right by the point, so we will see how they are able to deal with this. Already they do seem to have quite a bit of dominance in the area. They already do have the Wishbone area locked down, so we may have to see an Uber exchange coming in here soon if Cat Noises wants to salvage this in any way.
And right now, Cat Noises doesn't have a Pyro to air blast Froyotech to punish them from where they are. Here comes the Fever Charge. It's going to be exchanged for both sides. The Scout on the point is going to get spammed off there, as they're going to do a good job. Actually, only 4 players left alive here, as Froyotech is still continuing to put pressure onto this. I mean, this is the risk. They needed to rotate earlier. The flank players saw the Froyotech players pushing. They need to go. Here we go. Percy going for a 1v1 against Banny onto the point, getting a lot of damage onto him. Banny's going to have to be forced to back off. The Jounce coming in to help push him off, as the Demo Man is still spamming that front door, but that capture point for E is still so far forward for the team. Daffodil also went down in that exchange in Spamfest. And
oh no!
You get taken out.
We've seen Eric and Habib actually blasted off into the pit. They're not exactly sure how that happened, but that is definitely going to be quite the predicament for Froyotech. Looks like that alone may have cost them their little area control. Boar, however, still up in that window, has a pretty good sightline into the wishbone area here. May not want to get caught out here, and Yomps does seem to be caught out, actually taking down Percy there, although Exile does seem to take him down. And meanwhile, Cookie Jake is alone. Him not being alive here. What? Oh.
They just let him get out for free with at 91%. What a huge misplay coming out of Cat Noises there to give up. Then now Froyotech's going to have an Uber charge to be able to defend this. I know they wanted to, I could understand the idea of, wanting to keep him alive, but this is also the problem when you go for an E push so early on and you don't try to go for a B-style push. What happens now is Froyotech, they just wasted 2 minutes for nothing. They have nothing gained from this situation. Cat Noises has still a good setup on B. Froyotech, again, it looks like Percy as well as Mirman are spotting out that Percy is going to go in onto Cookie Jake, but not enough to get a force onto him as he went down to 46 HP. Now Cat Noises much faster on the switch over here as Conch comes out for their team. And so here you can see Carson is also on a Pyro off of, so he could be able to make some plays here, tricky plays if he wants to. Uber comes out from the blue side, but Cat Noise is now the one baiting out their Uber charge. Still not, only 2:30 left in the clock. This is going to be tough for Froyotech to do.
Yeah, it did seem like Froyotech did bite off more than they could chew with that first initial Uber, and the second one, Cat Noises was a bit more prepared for it. They had all their players filing into Wishbone much faster, and the Uber exchange was a lot more even. But now they still have to deal with Eric and Banny pressuring the E point. Meanwhile, all of their spamming classes have been forced out due to Cookie Jake going down, but he is respawning, albeit at a 50% Uber disadvantage for him. So hopefully, Cat Noises should be able to learn Froyotech's apparent strategy here and play around it.
2 minutes left on the clock. Eric trying to get very aggressive. He's going to get taken out there as well. One of the things, too, is that Froyotech, this is not a wrong thing to run, not run an engineer, but it's one of those things, too, where it's like every time one of your slower classes respawns, it's just that much longer of a run-up. Froyotech, though, again, they got 6 players forward right now. They're starting to make their way into this final room. Minute 30, they're pretty much at desperation point where they can't go do a vitamin push. They can't go A, B, A through E. And right now, they're just going to go for that straight E push. 2 early picks here, down for 15 seconds. Banny starting to put some time on the point. But with Carson as well as Spamfest, Carson's doing a good job at spamming the point, and Banny gets taken out. There's no capture time on there. Now it's going to be Eric trying to put some ×1, but will it be enough as Cat Noise is doing a good job contesting this?
Yeah, Eric actually wising up there. Go ahead and use the detonator to get onto the point there because do it. Definitely a smarter play here. Yomps actually locking down this area into Wishbone with that minigun of his. A lot of it's just so interesting. You see Froyotech trying the strategy over and over again. It doesn't seem to be working. Meanwhile, the Ubers are even. So if they can go ahead and get this Uber forced a little early, which looks like they do, they could be able to defend this. Meanwhile, Carson and Spamfest, Mirman, all of them are doing a very good job holding that doorway, not getting taken out by Spam, denying so much precious cap time, and that clock is ticking. Eventually, it will become impossible for Froyo to win this, and it seems like their overzealous push isn't really paying off here for this first half.
Yeah, 27 seconds left, and I think we've reached the time where it's not even possible, even at ×3, to be able to capture this. Eric with the latch to effort, he's going to get some time on it. Nice reflect, as so many kills going in the favor of Froyotech. They're going to put everybody on it, but with 15 seconds left on it, I don't think it'll be enough. ×3, Eric's going to jump on it as well, more than likely. 8 seconds left, they have everything in their favor, but will it be enough? 5, 4, here we go with the last couple seconds, but no, they're not going to reach it in time, and there you go, Cat Noises, with a fairly solid win coming out there. I think they got a little bit cocky at the very tail end of that, but just enough to hold on. And Froyotech trying to go with an aggressive straight E push works against them, and now it's match point in the favor of Cat Noises.
Yeah, that first push by Froyotech all the way from A really did seem to catch people off guard, especially on Cat Noises. Weren't really prepared for it and weren't expecting it, but they did manage to hold on just barely by the skin of their teeth, and from there, Froyotech didn't really seem to want to change their playstyle very much. Meanwhile, Cat Noises adapted very well, and they were able to shut down the pushes from A very efficiently, and it did get close a few more times. It didn't really ever seem apparent at any point that Froyotech could have walked away with that first half.
I mean, I definitely think that, so looking through the stat lines here, Exile stepping up to the plate, he top frag, tied with Yamps and Blaze. Yamps was at 14, Blaze and Mirrorman tied at 10. Next up, Habib going a little bit down there, but Exile actually doing about 1,000 more damage. Exile doing 1,000 more damage than Habib, which is pretty impressive. Habib's, so freaking good. Did a really good job with that. Banny also being a little bit neutralized, only 225 DPM, but he's also spent a lot of time trying to capture that point, but still Banny also not being as good as he can. And then same thing with Eric. I mean, I think Eric and Banny had a really low capture time because they spent so much time just trying to, basically that entire offense, they weren't being offensive. They were just spending that time trying to capture that point. So definitely both of them a little bit lackluster. And then Percy as well, she was just not having a good round. 4 and 14, definitely was not on her A game. I know that she had a little bit of a break from TF2 for a little while there, but I definitely think you can see that happening where there's a couple times where she might have had the drop onto Cookie Jake, but just wasn't able to follow through with the meat shots. But overall, really solid first round out of Cat Noises. What are you seeing, Wax, out of the stat lines? Any storylines you're seeing from the logs?
Nothing in particular, to be honest. I think they do quite speak for themselves. Demo Manus is such an important, powerful class on this map, and Exile having multiple seasons of platinum experience on this map, especially having played by his side on his Highlander team, you can definitely tell that his experience on this map definitely helped Cat Noises edge out their victory in this half. And that A to E push, it really isn't something that you can do unplanned overnight. It does take something you can't really improvise. It does take quite a bit of strategizing and dare I say even practicing. It really isn't the type of thing that you can do unprepared. And Froyotech, hopefully they did learn from this, and they'll try to go for slightly more conventional pushes. I really do have faith that they have solid the deathmatch capabilities and the coordination to carry those sort of pushes out. Given that most of their players are just, they're just good players. There's not a whole lot to say about it other than that they're very accomplished. But we are going into the second half here. This time, Froyotech will be attacking first to set the time, and Cat Noises will have to beat it.
Yeah, so you can already see what they're doing. So Eric now, he's running, so he's an engineer. But mid-century engineer of all things, so maybe he was listening to what I was saying where, a teleporter honestly is almost worthwhile enough, for an engineer, an extra hit scan class, and then having a teleporter, especially if you're going to just try to constantly suicide over and over again, to be able to support your troops going forward. You can see Cat Noises doing the exact same hold again, only having Exile currently, which he's probably just has a trap somewhere on the A point. Yeah, he has a secret trap on the A point literally itself, so he's not even going to commit. He's just going to debt and maybe hope to pick off Cookie Jake by chance. But pretty much the same start that we saw last time. We'll see if Froyotech can do anything differently, as it would have put up a good time last round more than likely, but wasn't going to beat Cat Noises.
Yeah, it seems like they're opting to go straight for another A push. Hopefully they'll try to go for a drop-down push that does seem to be more effective. Actually, we did see Cat Noises in the last half do that very well with the Mirrorman bombing in and having essentially forcing all the Froyo players to scatter. But Mirrorman actually does get taken down at A. It looks like he was trying to get cheeky and maybe even force Cookie Jake, but it looks like we're actually getting Froyotech funneling through B here and hopefully trying to get something done. So it's good to see that they actually have learned. Banny actually coming with the bomb to distract that sentry gun. Not going to do too much aside from drawing a little bit of fire, but he isn't on fallen mode. Almost able to take him down, gets him down very low, but in the end, it was just a distraction here, and we do see this Uber coming out, this Uber exchange. The gun manages to get taken down, but Carson is still in a very solid position here, and Oh, never mind. Looks like we see Blaze jumping in, essentially forcing them out for good. Meanwhile, Exile getting quite a bit cut in here, getting taken down. So a lot of late deaths there on the side of Cat Noises. Hopefully this won't lead to a shorter round.
Yeah, right now, Froyotech, really nice job. That really was just big coming out of the bonk of Banny. I think players forget that you can actually, like, slow down the player. If you shoot bonk, it actually helps you now. Whereas before, there was really nothing you can do. Percy trying to take a 1v1 against Banny. Banny's going to be coming out on top of that, getting put down to a 15-second respawn. Froyotech, they're just going to start running into this next point. Again, instead of trying to go for that A to E push, they just want to DM their way to victory right now, and they're picking up too early on here. But B got taken out, but with 4 equalizing it, taking down Exile, so no Demoland on either side. And you can see the long respawns are starting to take effect. Exile down for 20 seconds, time 6 onto this point, and Froyotech are just looking to, they just want to take it 1v1, and let's just win it out that way, as they're putting up a pace for a very fast round right now.
Yeah, that what really was an unexpected turn. I really did think that Froyotech was gonna get a little more cocky, than they normally do, and just go straight for the E push. But it is interesting to see that they are being slightly more cautious here and opting to 99%. Just go ahead and cap. Oh, and looks like, wow, Exile go ahead and takes down 3 of them with a very nice set of stickies there. So that's definitely gonna halt their momentum slightly. Meanwhile, both Ubers are even, so this will hopefully give Cat Noises a chance to get a nice defense set up. We already do see Spamfest up in that little heaven area with a sentry gun, and Eric trying to get onto the point before he gets knocked into the pit in typical CP Steel fashion.
Yeah, I gotta be careful here. Percy gets taken out again, just overextending a little bit too much. It's not that's not a situation you need to waste any of your life on. She wasn't going to defend anything in that circumstance, and ultimately got caught out, going to get put down a little bit longer. Spamfest also got taken down from Boar, who was playing around, I believe, up in the window, so that gun is going to get spammed out here slowly. Both teams have 100% Uber, but they're trying to bait each other out. But behind the scenes, Mirror Man taking down the enemy medic. Cookie Drake, that's a drop. +2 onto the charts, as you're going to see Engineer Eric starting to put some capture time. 4 is up in the window, and so that's one thing that Spamfest is going to have to be aware of, but they do have a sentry gun to be able to do this, but Banny's going to come onto the sentry gun, and Spamfest is going to take that sentry, sorry, that's an entrance. He just escaped as Banny was pushing into him. I've never seen that before. I love it. And now Froyotech's going to just start pressuring E, but they have to be careful. 100% Ubercharge currently in the favor of the defense, as Percy just ran up, took down Boar. And so now Froyotech has to be careful not to get caught out here from the Ubercharge of Cat Noises.
Yeah, definitely not getting forced earlier in that previous little fight we saw was huge. Now they're going to be able to defend this point and hopefully get a few important picks out of it. Cookie Jake actually hasn't even begun healing. It looks like he's still sitting at 0%. So hopefully we do see Ubers are even at the moment. Meanwhile, Yomps on E all by himself. This is a bit unusual. You don't really see a heavy on the point by himself usually, or the general doesn't tend to be the first one into the fray. But Carson seems to be
punching up the sniper. And now he's actually going to be in the window doing a good job. He actually spams out the Devilman. He punched down the enemy sniper and then uses that to his favor. 4 players left alive, though, here for the offense. Percy's going to try to make a big play in, but ultimately just gets pushed off the side. And this is going to need a miracle play coming from Cat Noises to even have a chance. I don't know. I think Spamfest needed to switch off a little bit sooner. Carson's going to spam down slowly. Yam's eating a lot of damage. Finally does go down ×3, but that should be it. Exile's just a little bit too late. 4 minutes and 48 seconds. That's a minute faster than the time Cat Noises put up in the first round.
Yeah, it was definitely a little slower than I initially thought it was going to be. Froyotech had a ton of momentum there earlier on, about halfway in, but Exile did manage to stop them in that one Uber exchange, or not really exchange, but that one little team fight on D where Cookie Jake managed to get dropped by Mirror Man. Very impressive, by the way. That I think that did definitely help save Cat Noises a bit of time, but the question is, will they be able to push in that similar amount of time? Maybe starting out on offense was really the magic strategy for them, because they seem to be more in control of when the pushes happened.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one. I think now that they have one round into them, I mean, this is what Froyotech does really well, is like, even when they make mistakes, they do a good job at adjusting. And you can see from the first round to the second round, on offense, they completely changed their strategy, and now they're completely changing the strategy on defense. Now they're going for the more traditional style. Pretty much everybody is sitting on the B point, and so you can see Cat Noises, they're probably expecting to run into something. So I'm kind of curious now, If Cat Noises originally was going to try to go for an AE push in the first round, now this is maybe an opportunity they could go for that. As currently Froyotech has nobody watching that A corridor. So if they went for the push, they would have time to get set up before the enemy team does anything about it. What I've seen, the Russian team that was really good at it would take a sentry gun way in the back, but it looks like they're not going to do that. They're going to go... Well, no, they are going to go for that. Spamfest is coming out right now to the A point. Blaze is standing there, so he's watching to see what's going to happen. But it looks like we're going to see an AE push coming out. Actually, I lied. Spamfest changed his mind. He's going back to B. But here we go. They're going to start to try to pressure from the backside, though. 4 players for Cat Noises are not going to do that. They're going to go drop down. A lot of changes in their mind, but Cat Noise is ultimately going to go down that direction. And they're going to go directly into a sentry gun, but they pulled Froyotech players out. And so they're going to get to walk in for free because everybody from Froyotech backed up to try to defend the E point.
Yeah, all that back and forth between all the players was a bit confusing, and it seemed like Cat Noises didn't really have their heads in the right place there. They didn't seem to be on the same page, and they did end up paying the price. A lot of players did end up going down, but here comes Mirrorman in with a big bomb, takes out Habib, so that's going to be no demo man on the side of Froyo for now. Meanwhile, Carson doing his best to edge the cap. Edge of the point there a little, but Boar does take him down as well. You really got to watch out for Sniper on this point. That huge sightline is really gonna mess your team up if you aren't careful.
Yeah, 52% only for the offense here. Cookie Jake has Uber ready to go in, but he doesn't have anybody really great to use it on. Here we go, Mirrorman jumping. He's going to get pushed back by that sentry gun. Percy starting to get some capture time as the level 3 sentry gun, very aggressive for the offense here. I would love to see one player go, at least to pull the distraction away from Froyotech, as they're going to now retake this round. And I just got to mention before, Cookie Jake went down to 30 HP, and he was still being shot at, and he still didn't pop. I mean, that's why he dropped maybe in that last round on offense, but that's one of the things that, Cookie Jake does, is he has so much confidence in his team. It's going to take absolutely everything to get him to pop, but we can see Cat Noises, they say, listen, we're not going to be able to do a vitamin push anymore. We just need to go straight to E, and that's exactly what they're doing now. Blaze is going to call it out, but here we go. We'll see what they can do. Spamfus is getting himself set up here. Now onto mini sentries. I don't think that's going to be enough. This is going to be tough. I think that they need to maybe make a play with a spy or something to get a big play, because you got to get control of this wishbone area on the offense, because if you let the defense control it, you will have no chance at capturing this point.
Yeah, Cat Noises already does seem to have a decent amount set up, but it doesn't seem like their class composition is well optimized for this. You really got to make sure there's no gun there. You really want to make sure the power classes aren't spamming there, especially a heavy. You don't want to really get chipped across the map. Meanwhile, Boar, having plenty of dominance in that little shutter there, does almost get taken out by Carson, actually, but Bandy does clean him up. And
they went backside!
Uh-oh, wow, so it looks like they had quite a similar strategy they did last half, in that they, in a way, they sort of faked out Froyotech, but in the end, it did end up going a different area. However, this Uber doesn't seem to be going swimmingly for Cat Noises, as they are dropping a lot of players here. Daffodil somehow managing to live, but will end up getting caught out after all, so this is already looking somewhat grim for Cat Noises.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just, I think they need to mix it. I don't think Spamfest needs to be on Engineer anymore. I think that's not working at all. I mean, I think Engineer is one of those classes where it's like, it's either going to get you like a really big play, or it's just going to hurt you. And I don't really see a lot of benefit added in right now from him playing it, but Cat Noise is going back in, a minute left on the clock. They're going to just go for a B take here. They still will have time to capture the C point. The one thing that they'll have a benefit is they'll have more control of the wishbone area if they capture the B point. But they're just going very aggressively. They do take down Blaze there, but still are down a man in terms of numbers of total. And so now here we go. Carson's pushing out the point, but Exile gets taken out so early. Spamfest going to fall into pit, trying to make a little bit of a jump in there, and that's going to be the round. 30 seconds left in the clock. It's not possible for Cat Noises to come down with this, and we're going to get put into overtime. But, what did you see kind of as the failings there out of Cat Noises? I mean, obviously they're working up against a short time, but what did you feel like they did wrong that they could have done better?
A lot of it really boiled down to indecisiveness. They didn't really seem like they had a set plan in place. They didn't really, they didn't ever, as I said earlier, they didn't really seem to be on the same page. And part of that was also because of their class composition. They understood what was at stake here. They knew what time was left. They knew that something urgent needed to happen. And usually in a situation like that, you'd want to go for Spy, Spy has that surprise factor. He's got that sapper. He can go ahead and get rid of that gun really fast. He might even get a lucky pick on Cookie Jake or Boar to help open up the sight lines. But overall, I really don't think that Cat Noise is. I don't think that they were that pressed for time. They'd already shown in the last half. They did really set a very, very solid time, but Froyotech just showing so much dominance as they normally do. They just seem to iron everything out perfectly once they get their act together.
Yeah, I mean, once they just play around each other really well. I mean, the thing I would say is that I would like to see just a little bit more change out of, Cat Noises. Last time we casted Cat Noises last week, they did a lot of switching of who plays what classes. And I think right now, if I was Cat Noises, I'd be like, all right, Spamfest, you're going on Scout. We saw that. That's what happened. Spamfest went to Scout, and Viaduct worked really well for them. I would take Percy, and I would put her on Spy. She's not doing enough DM-wise. Maybe Pyro would be good, but even then, I felt like her timing of her runs was suspect. I think I would have her as a Spy and mix it up that way, because if you can't make an impact through pure DM, then you need to play a class where DM isn't the primary thing. And I think, having that Spy might be able to catch them out. They're doing a good job of confusing Froyotech, making them go back and forth, and maybe you can get a big play off of that. But going 2-12 as Scout with 99 DPM, and same thing with Spamfest, only at 66 DPM. I mean, it's not enough. You got to be doing more to commit to your team, and that's why I kind of single those two people out in particular, because it's like, if you're not at least hitting the 200 mark on CP Steel, you need to be adjusting what you're doing. Engineer has a little bit more leniency with that, but Scout, you should be at least hitting 200, and so I think they really need to be thinking about switching Percy off. But no class switches coming up, and here we go. Cat Noise is on offense again. Froyotech, they're going to do the exact same defense as last time, though Banny is going to be guarding A alone to start this off.
Yeah, we do see Froyotech setting up once again on the traditional B-hole. The gun is slightly farther back. I imagine that's just to aid in the post-Uber when if they manage to get forced out. But right now we do see Spamfest and Mirrorman on A. Looks like they're going to be trying to edge this gun into lobby. If my experience on CP Steel would say anything about this, but we will see. Looks like Froyo has spread their defenses well enough to the point where they really don't have to worry about being pressured from any specific area at the moment. Meanwhile, they still have all of their important players up guarding guarding B, but it looks like Mirrorman actually manages to drop down and take down Boar, so no sniper's already going to be really big. And this sack wave actually did manage to take down quite a few important players.
Yeah, the only problem is that the respawns for the defense aren't too long, so they should be up by the next time the push comes, and Carson's only the longest one for the offense at least. But you can see they just killed all those players. But look at this. Everybody for Froyotech is going to be back up. The Uber's going to be coming in here. The only person who's not bored is going to be Jans. But here we go. The bonk from Percy is going to come in with the Uber charge. Maybe a little bit miscoordinated. Maybe you want to do that a little bit earlier. Cookie Jake eats a sticky before he finally popping his Uber. Percy's going to get evaporated there, as that's the only frag from that exchange. And got to question that choice of pushing from Cat Noises, to use a bonk at the same time as an Uber. The bonk is meant to be a distraction, and then you push your Uber in, because if everybody's looking at the bonk player behind, then you can walk in with an Uber and you're going to have less people looking at you. The other thing I'd like to see is, this is exactly what Percy's doing. She's going to get onto the E point, I believe, to just at least maybe get some split focus from the team. But no, actually, Cat Noises, they're just going to go for an E push again. They're going to go for this, and I don't know. I really just, if you're going to go for an E push, I think you need to have someone go B just to if you fail at one, you still at least succeed in the other. And I don't know if an all-out push here is going to work, but XL's trying to get control of this wishbone area early on.
Yeah, I was somewhat hoping that Cat Noises was going to try and go for the immediate E-push, because even if that didn't work, Froyotech, what they tend to do is they'll shift all of their defenses to watch that one particular area, and that would have allowed them to go back and capture B with some sort of positional advantage. But it looks like they just opted to go in a bit too late, and now they are paying the price for it. Now they have a full Uber disadvantage, and Froyo is rotating back to B, so they have definitely adapted very well, as they tend to do. And it looks like we actually see Spamfest on Spy there, but unfortunately she does get caught out and taken down by Eric on Engineer.
I wonder if she was running Inviswatch and thought she was running Cloak and Dagger, because that was a very, very strange time to decloak. The gun does get taken out, but already rebuilds back up to a level 1, 100% supercharge for the defense of Froyotech here. They do get a big pick onto Habib. Uber's going to come out, but no Demo Man right now, and Percy doing a good job. Just hide down to the point, Percy. Don't need to take that fight. Just get the capture time. And now without Habib on there, nor Bor as well, that's going to allow them to take this point, and that's a solid push coming out there. Again, kind of splitting focus, kind of slowly working their way up. But really, that was off the back of Fallen Lord, that big pick onto Habib, and then not having Banny for it as well. I think not having any power classes to be able to defend this. But they're going to try to walk in here. 100% Ubercharge, ready to go. They need to get some frags, though. That's the most important thing right now. Banny should get caught out on this backside. Habib's still up, down to half HP. They're going to try to do something with him, but no, Exile is the one who goes down. Now Habib finally gets taken out. Yams is going to get taken down as well. Miramon on the backside doing a good job holding off the enemy team as they're all getting put on a long respawns. Nice reflex actually coming out of the Pyro there of Spamfest. And this Z point gets easily taken. But Cookie Jake on to 95%. They're not going to be able to re-push this, I don't think, in time due to the respawns. But that is going to give them a chance to defend the next point. 4 minutes, and this is not a bad time being set, but when you're going up against Froyotech, every second counts.
Absolutely. You know, that C push definitely went a lot better than expected. It seemed like everything was, the odds were stacked against Cat Noises there, but right now, we actually do see quite a bit of dominance being shown by Exile. Board does end up no-scoping him, so that will be a bit unfortunate. A lot of players actually dropping here on the side of Cat Noises, so Froyotech really putting their foot down and saying, you know, we really don't want you here on this point. Meanwhile, Daffodil actually gets a couple saws onto Banny and manages to escape with his life barely, but not after using the Uber and equalizing the the Uber advantages. Meanwhile, we do see Froyotech getting set up in the E lobby here. We Eric's sentry gun spot claiming yet another victim here as Percy goes down, and the rest of Froyo just seems to be holding back in a more passive position.
And right now, Eric does get taken out, so Sentry Gun is viable to be taken out pretty easily. Banny is going for a big flank play right now. He hasn't been spotted yet. He's going to go actually right behind M18, but actually is going to be spot Spamfest first, as Boar claims another victim, taking down Fallen, as Percy is getting aggressive into Yamps, but Boar gets the headshot onto Spamfest. And the Sentry Gun, no, the Sentry Gun's still there, but no!
Oh my god, Mirror Man!
What a bomb! He uses the Sentry Guns, pushing him away, able enough to get a bomb perfectly on a Cookie Chick. 100% Ubercharge in the favor of Cat Noises, but they have yet to use an Ubercharge effectively. Let's see if they can do that now. As the Sentry Gun is up, Eric is ready to go to be able to defend this, but they have to be intelligent in their playstyle. They do get an early snipe, taking down Habib, and here comes out the Ubercharge. Exile, no, he dropped!
Oh no!
And the Pyro pushed down as well! Carson gets the gun taken out. The Pyro is going to finally fall down, but what a disaster for Cat Noises.
Oh man, you'd think that there'd be a whole little streak of good luck there after Mirman gets that incredible bomb onto Cookie Jake, but unfortunately that gun, you really have to watch out for that knockback. You know, you never really want to jump, actually. I think I saw Exile's feet barely leave the ground there, and he got sent flying back. Spamfest the same, but while that gun did end up getting taken down eventually, it was at a too great of a cost.
I would have been tempted to just say, you know, go for a D push in that situation. He's kind of a difficult one to take with that Ubercharge because you have to walk across the point of that balcony just for that reason. But either way, the choice was made, and they're going to just try to bully their way in here. They do a good job taking down Boar at least. Fallen's trying to get a snipe onto the Demo Man of Habib, who went down to half HP, but not enough to secure the kill. As they are getting bullied back. Nice job by Habib working them out. Banny going down incredibly low, but no one's there to secure the kill, or at least to find any sort of splash damage onto him. And Cat Noises, again, everybody's pushing from the same angle, which I guess at this point is not the worst thing in the world, but like, you know, maybe you could pull like a power class away by getting a little bit of capture time on D, maybe even putting just a spy, you know, on a back cap somewhere, just to get someone to pull someone away and then just decloak away. But either way, two early picks here in the favor of Cat Noises, 100% for both teams. We'll see what they want to do, if they want to try to just go for an Uber Trader, if they want to just walk it in. But it looks like they're going to start to walk in with Exile, but solo Demo Uber, they get the force out. Exile has to be careful not to get dropped. The question is, what do they want to do post-Uber here? It looks like they are going to get stuck again, because I don't think they can re-push this post-Uber.
Those two early picks on Boar and Banny probably could have proven to be very detrimental for Froyotech, but they did manage to hold back far enough to the point where they had essentially forced Cat Noises to Uber in a bit too early there, and they weren't able to get their foot in the door, so to speak. And so right now we just have Froyotech having a very solid hold in lobby, not really having to worry about the Wishbone area. Meanwhile, we see Eric near the D and E connector, just hanging back with a sentry gun in a more passive position. But let's take a look here. We do see Daffodil, Exile, and Percy all just capturing D here, so trying to split their offenses here. And we do see Froyotech wrapping them. Daffodil is actually almost close to 100%. Looks like he might go down a little too early. There we go. Unfortunately, that's the end of the Daffodil's little Uber there. But the Uber does get forced actually out of Cookie Jake, so they will be equalized at the end. But there really wasn't much to be gained there out of that little play from Cat Noises.
I mean, it was a good chance. Now look at, because of the fast respawns for the offense, they're already starting to push onto this D point. A lot of damage, both on the Blaze. Nice 2K, one sticky, as Cookie Jake is going to have to run away here. So as much as that, you know, they didn't get what they wanted out of the situation, again, using those fast respawns to their favor, Horsey is going to pick up one out of the boar as Cookie Jake gets taken out by Spamfest's mini sentry, and now ×3 onto the E point, ×1 onto the D point. Just Habib really up to be able to defend this, but both points going down the favor, and this is what they needed. Again, it still really benefits from split pushing, and what just happened, split pushes came down from Cat Noises, bam, instantly they're able to do a re-push down onto this E point, and now with the lock coming out onto that spawn point, this should be a pretty easy one for Cat Noises, provided they can take care of Habib, and that headshot out of Fallen Lord to do just that, ×4. Finally, they should come down with this, but will they? Banny, Blaze trying to do what they can, the arrow out, actually, no, I'm sorry. They're going to do just enough to hold on to this. Cat Noises are going to re-push. Can Yams hold this down himself?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Cookie Jake is way out of position here to do anything significant. Meanwhile, Eric's coming in with the air blast, takes Mirrorman out of the fight. Actually, no, Mirrorman does manage to land onto the platform with a nice strafe, and this does seem to be the capture here for Cat Noises at 9:58. Almost 10 minutes, even for Highlander standards, when there's a lot more players. That actually is a very long time. Hopefully, they will be able to hold this, but as we've seen, Froyotech just has that in-your-face, is an ultra-aggressive playstyle. You know how we don't know how Cat Noise is going to be able to cope with that, especially given their seeming lack of cohesion. It seems like they've lost all of their momentum from the first half. So hopefully they can regain it and salvage this round, because this is match point, I believe.
Yeah, this is match point. We are currently in overtime, 1-1. As we come into this final round. Apologies, Niso did have his TF2 crash, so he'll be back in very shortly with the game, so just hang tight as he gets restarted, but we'll let you know if anything happens that's exciting. It's the first part of the round. Nothing really, exciting happens. The big thing for here is, again, I think Cat Noises, they can't play conventional to be able to win this round, and that's actually what we're seeing. No scout on the defense. Percy's going to be starting out on Spy, which again is what I've been calling for. I think that is a good play. Percy has not been effective on Scout. Might as well put him on something, if he's going to get 2 frags, he'll get 2 frags as Spy, but they might be a little bit more critical picks. He's going to go for a play here on this 8 point, but oh my god, he got 2! He got 2 of people just standing around. It's going to be for nothing. I mean, it's completely meaningless because they're going to respawn in 7 seconds. But hey, I mean, he got 2 picks, or she got 2 picks there, so really nice job coming out from Percy there. But now the thing is that she just suicided. She got those 2 picks. They're already back up. The point got captured. That's kind of why it was pointless. It actually would have been better for her literally to do nothing in that situation due to the way the respawn waves work. But Mirrorman, nice jump up, does take down one. Banny, here comes in the bonk, using it for the distraction. No focus. And he's getting ready to unbonk right on top of the Demoman, and there you go. Uber gets used, trying to catch the Demoman, but big advantage now in the favor of Cookie Jake.
Yeah, I noticed Boar was caught out in that drop down, and Exile did seem to try and commit for him there, but didn't really get him in time. Meanwhile, Banny happened to just get those clean, absolutely clean meat shots onto Exile to take him out. Meanwhile, it looks like Froyotech is still trying to gather themselves here and get ready for this B push. As we do see this Uber coming out onto Banny. The sentry gun isn't really is doing a very good job of taking that, and it does seem like it will be getting moved back. Meanwhile, Carson in the back takes down Blaze, Banny, and Eric, so definitely a couple of great picks here. And Mirrorman and Exile do bomb in, try to get a little extra done, and they do end up actually taking down a few extra players on Froyo, so Well, not exactly the cleanest push. They did end up getting a few flashy picks, and overall they will be losing the B point, it seems.
Yeah, if XL was able to keep his life there, but he was just a little bit better with his sticky placement, this point's going to go down in their favor. And honestly, this is the best point they really needed to milk more time off of. And so here we go. 2 players down for Cat Noises, and we should see Froyotech probably just walk onto the C point. But actually, I believe everybody in Cat Noises, they're going to get transported back because they went into that spawn. So that's knowledge of the map working out in their favor. They decided not to run it. And so they're going to have Uber Charge ready to defend this point. Banny alone coming in here too early on. He didn't realize that that gate maybe is going to delay them. Carson picking up one as well. Mirror Man doing a decent amount of damage onto the soldier there. But they got to be careful. They don't want to lose Exile in this exchange as Eric's incorrectly using the short circuit. But they just lost 2 players onto that point. Percy's going to pick up 1, but what is it really worth when you use your Uber Charge and Cookie Jake's just going to hold on to his?
Yeah, Axel did seem to be taken down there by Boar, unfortunately. There was a little crack there when the gate was slowly opening, and Axel happened to cross it at just the wrong time as Boar managed to fire a shot. But for Cat Noises, it really is crunch time right now. Cookie Jake still hasn't used his Uber. He's at a full advantage, and 3 players on Cat Noises are down. So this could be game, set, match, but who knows? Hopefully Cat Noises will be able to pull something out of their pockets here.
Yeah, D-Point very easily going to be coming down right now. They need to get a force out into Cookie Jake. That would be helpful, but 2 deaths. I mean, this is it right now, is that every death you take, again, those respawns are so long. I've been harking about it all game, but they are so important. You can't just suicide in on defense. You need to pick your shots, and right now, they wanted to make a play into Cookie Jake, and they just didn't get it. So D-Point comes down. Now the respawns, you have to take a long way around. You can only come through Wishbone or from the D-Point to defend the east side here. Yam's eating a lot of damage as Froyotech's just working their way onto this point. Carson now onto the Pyroclast, just flaring the point, doing decent amount of damage as Percy on the backside, he's trying to focus down Yams, does pick up the frag. Now onto Cookie Jake, but she's not able to land any of the frags. Does get a meltdown, but to no avail. But in that time, the Uber does come up for the defense. So Cookie Jake is alone right now. If anybody was able to find him, Boar, though, is watching the Wishbone area. But again, Cat Noises has everybody pushing from the same angle right now, and they really do need to get someone coming in from a different angle if they want to do this. Here we go, Uber Charge coming out. But again, they have nobody to make any sort of presence anywhere. Boar would be taken out instantly if you had somebody coming in from the D side. It's going to be much better for the red, and there you go. Just so clean. Carson does try to make a play there. Percy is going to get taken out going down to Boar, and this should be it for Froyotech unless a catastrophe happens.
Yeah, Froyotech is absolutely read Cat Noises like a book there. You know, they're not exactly... Cat Noises doesn't seem to be performing at their best at the moment. They really did seem to have it in the first half there, but it mainly did seem to be Froyotech making a bit of mistakes. Meanwhile, this does seem like it's going to be game, as Boar and Banny ×3 on that cap, getting a lot of Catum at the moment. Exile trying to force them off here, does actually manage to knock Boar into the little edge there, but he does go down. Meanwhile, we do have all of these players, these healthy players on Froyotech on E point. Not a whole lot they can do, unfortunately, as most of Cat Noises is dead.
Here we go, final ticks on the clock, 4 minutes left, but it's not going to be enough. Froyotech will come down with this 2-1, so Cat Noises has to be at least a little bit happy they were able to sneak 1 round off of here, but fairly convincing the rest of the way for Froyotech, so nice job coming out of them as they are going to take that round. So let's take a look at these logs. And just a real quick shout out, guys. If you guys are interested inside of Prolander, if you want to try it out, rgl.gg/pugs. We host weekly pugs. Join our Discord. We host everything through there. If you're from Australia, and for some reason we're hosting a one-day cup for Australia. And we will have another match later this week being cast. We're trying to do 2 matches per week being casted for this Prolander stuff. So make sure to click that follow button, Twitch TV, on this XTV esports channel. But let's take a look at logs. What are you seeing early on here from the logs?
Well, right off the bat, I saw immediately Boar's 22 frags, and it seems to be, he actually top damaged on his team. Exile top damaging in the server, but 22 and 12, that really is a pretty solid kill count. Steel isn't necessarily known to be an excellent sniper, Matt, but when you have somebody as skilled as Boar, who's widely regarded to be one of the best snipers in the game, you really do see quite a bit of surprise plays coming from him. He really did a good job of locking down those sight lines and catching out all of the Cat Noises players that were out of position. Fall Lord actually also put up a very solid performance as well. He second top fragged with 19 frags. Although he didn't seem to be doing nearly as much damage and as much zoning as Board did.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing, too, is that Yamps, or not Yamps, but XL did a really good job in terms of, XL was the top damage dealer. He actually, did, again, almost about 1,000 more damage than Habib, but Habib had 6 more assists and 4 more frags, and, I think the big thing that comes with that, I mean, XL has a little bit more deaths, but it just shows you, like, that, Habib had more people to help clean up his frags, despite XL doing such a good job of focusing down people. He just didn't really have that back end damage to be able to help them out. Daffodil going down 6 times, Cookie Jake only on the 3. I mean, obviously that's going to play a factor into it, but I think most of those deaths were probably just when Daffodil was getting caught out in a few different circumstances. But overall, the sets are always kind of, for CP Steel are just never going to be that honest, because as much as you can look at it and be like, these players played well, it's ultimately the team's strategy and what they chose to do that ultimately won them out. It's very rare that you can, say that it was just 100% DM, that won the game. And obviously Froyotech, their DM is going to be better than, pretty much any other team in the game. That's one of the reasons, they've won, RGL 3 seasons straight, and one of the reasons that they are undefeated in the last, 2 years of ESCA. They're just such a dominant team that it's you can't gonna beat them just with straight up DM. You need to play smarter than them. And in the first round, that's what Cat Noises did. But in the later rounds, it just kind of seemed to work against them. A little bit of indecisiveness. Maybe a little bit too getting stuck with everybody trying to do the same strategy. It seemed, when Cat Noises did well was when they started to split up their forces, do different pushes, and then use the respawns to their advantage. And I would have loved to see that a little bit more. In the final round, but overall, really good game, really exciting, and I'm really excited to see Cat Noises as they're going to go into the playoffs. They're looking phenomenal this season. I fully expect that we're going to see at least Cat Noises inside of the semifinal game. But the question is, are they going to get to the grand finals? Because Cat Noises has never done better than 3rd place, and currently they are looking much better than they have in the past. And I think a 2nd place, is a very real possibility for them. But Wax, any kind of final thoughts on this match?
Not necessarily. I will say that that Cat Noises taking the first half with apparent ease actually was rather surprising to me. I did think that initially they were kind of shaky, but they did get it together, and I was kind of hoping that they'd use that momentum to get a second half out of Froyotech. But Froyotech, they just seem to be blessed. They always seem to come back with a solid strategy, and their non-stop aggression always helps them edge out these rounds. It just all comes down. It all comes down to whether how well you're able to execute these pushes, and how much confidence you have in your team to follow through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Froyotech always. I mean, beyond their DM, you can't say like they're not an intelligent team. They do a really good job at adjusting and playing off of each other, even in maps that that these guys are not familiar with. Really just good job learning. From today. So congratulations to Froyotech for winning yet again. Cat Noises, commiserations, but obviously put up a really great effort, and I'm looking forward to them the rest of the season. Just before we cut this off here, Wax, any shout outs you want to give?
Not necessarily. I do want to go ahead and give a small shout out to my own little group, engineer.tf. We do know that Cascade and Visual Week are coming up in Highlander, and we will be uploading videos for any of our fellow engineers who are interested in learning how to play those maps. But other than that, not really a whole lot. I guess I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to my Highlander team, Fast Forward, as well. They've actually gone undefeated so far in the regular season of Highlander. I'm not maining this season, but I'm really proud to see that they're doing so well, and I hope they can show that this dominance in playoffs as well.
Well, we'll wait and see on that. Guys, don't forget to big love and hearts and shout outs inside of chat for Nice. Always doing an amazing job behind the scenes.
Thank
Even
you,
when his
Nicel.
game crashes, he's still fantastic. So thank you so much, Nicel, for always doing that. Again, guys, make sure you tune in later in the week. I'm going to give a shout out to, we're planning on doing a second cast. It either will be an invite game or a Div 2 game. We haven't decided on the match yet. We're kind of waiting to see where the schedules are going to end up. But thank you, everybody, again, and we couldn't do this without you inside of the stands, showing up, adding that +1 to the viewer count is just so important and so huge. And then having you guys inside of chat is just a lot of fun, gives us energy, to do this, and it's just a lot of fun to do it. So thank you, everybody, for coming out here, helping support our awesome and growing and loving community. It really can't be done without you guys. So thank you so much for everybody coming out here. Thank you again to Nicel and Wax for helping me out with production. And with that, we will see you next time.